The Antichrist has been here. Paul said that Antichrist is at work right now. We're reading about the Antichrist. See, the world has you thinking that it's a man that's going to come. Antichrist is already at work, brother. We've been talking about the Antichrist all day long. Antichrist is what? There's many Antichrists. Brother, the mark of the beast, it says it's a badge of servitude. No man would be able to buy and sell. So how does this man, no, you see what I'm saying? It makes no sense. It says rich, poor, free, bond. You would not be able to buy and sell by this ship. That's the mark of the beast, brother. A badge of servitude. You're going to choose to serve this beast or serve the Most High.
Man, I have real quick. So that beast that is talking about, that's the world power that Satan is using to execute all this stuff going on. So it's not going to be just one evil dude going to pop up. And you know what I'm saying? He's using these people. He's already, you know what I'm saying, at work. Yo,
they have you waiting for this man, and all along you didn't get chill, brother. They slick. You get it? Mm-hmm. So, here we go. Oh, okay. Are we good? Okay. So, it says, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Right? Now, you got a question, brother? You got a question? You got a question? You got a question?
No.
You sure?
I forgot, man.
You got a question, sister?
I forgot.
Okay, I was trying to tell him that anti is a jinx.
Mm-hmm.
So the Antichrist is not a person, it is like a cloud of the devil.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's everything, the whole system is Antichrist. Everything, it speaks blasphemy against God. Everything that this whole system is Antichrist. Nothing in this system promotes the Most High. So, brother, if you want to wait for this man to come down and, and do all this stuff, do it. But the Bible is talking about a mark, an etching, a badge of servitude. Now, everything is right now going to prophecy. Like we said earlier, in Wisconsin, they're already mandating it. In these other countries, when they go and take down these other countries, these other nations, they set up their system, their currency. You see? All these nations will be on the same page of the New World Order and would rule by these bankers, yes. Can you speak up, sister?
I was just thinking about how they already doing it in the health system.
Huh.
They have I'm a nurse, and like they have the data, like all your medical. They have it to where it's all in one system.
Yeah.
It's called the rural health system.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably tell you that like if your doctor can go into the system, your health records, and visualize your health records, like miles and miles away. But it's just really about being a part of that new world order. So they're already doing it in the health system.
But slowly but surely implementing you. Can you get us to the final point? Start with like it's on our bank cards. Like I said, it's in the medical system. It's in everything. You be go like now they got you people. You can go with your hand and open your doors, start your car. They're making everything convenient, so it's more appealing. But back to what I was saying, this beast is devouring the whole land because Jacob is all throughout the land. So they got to have all these countries under their control. So now, like I said, when it comes to this badge of servitude, it didn't say that the war against the whole world. It says he gave power to go make war against the saints because now it's about these children of Israel. This whole world will be in the one order, brothers and sisters. Now, brother, we make a decision. I said before, we have to prove ourselves to the Most High. So let's go back to an ancient, very true testimony. It'd be the same as us coming out of Egypt, brothers and sisters. The Most High took us out of servitude, out of our, was in servitude, out of our conveniency, our reliance of ourselves, our reliance of the government, our reliance of Pharaoh. You hear me, brother? Most High took us from what we was used to, what was convenient for us, put us in a position. All we had was Him. As a testimony of faith, whether you believe it or not. So now, you can't just go in your kitchen and cook up a meal. You can't just go fishing because the water's bitter. So He's showing us, even in the most dire situation, most impossible to conceive situation, He gave us bread from heaven. No water nowhere in this desert that was drinkable. He cracked the rock, gave us and our animals water. We complained. He gave us birds, quails from the sea, showing us that there's nothing impossible for Him. So don't trust in His government. Trust in Him. But that's what this testimony, this is, all these things was written for our admiration, for our learning. Learning what? Who our God is, what He's capable of. So we learn from examples that He had provided testimony in the Old Testament and New Testament. And I said all the time, y'all know what I'm about to say. The prophet Elijah, he did what? He fed them daily with a raven. So Christ tells us the Most High provide for the fowls, the birds of heaven. How much more valuable are you? Don't worry about food and raiment and all kinds of stuff. That's what Christ is talking about. This time that's coming. Don't worry about food and clothing. The Father, look at the creation. The Father feeds all His creation. All His creation. How much more so do He love you and will care for you? But if you don't believe that, brother, you're going to take this chip and die. The Most High will preserve us, brother, as He always done. He said, who that fear Him has He ever confounded and forsaken? Not one. That's necessary to understand. So, brother, whether y'all want to believe it or not, that's your prerogative. But like Joshua said, me and my household, we gonna serve and fear the Most High. The High. So said Joshua feared and relied on the Most High. He was one of the ones who made it out of Egypt. See, he wasn't complaining. He didn't fear the giants. He remembered what the Most High did to the Pharaoh and the Egyptians' armies. See what I'm saying? And to their gods. We can be like Joshua. During this time, it's coming. It's coming. Our time is next. So that's what He said to us, don't take this chip. Because most of the people will take this chip, brothers and sisters. You know? But let's go. So where we at?
Revelations chapter
21.
Yep. No. 17. 17.
Okay.
17.
Yeah, these stories are not in this Bible for nothing. For nothing. That's why He said teach. Even He said especially teach us coming out of Egypt. To show His great might, show His power, show His love He has for us. Right? Let's go.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 17. For the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill His will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
City of Vatican. They're ruling over the kings of the earth. Through what? Religion. Finances. Read.
Next precept, Revelation chapter 21, verse 1 through 27. And it reads, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband."
New Jerusalem is our kingdom. It's coming down out of heaven. And we stated earlier, they say that they're going to meet Christ in heaven, and in the clouds and go to heaven. It's coming down. We want to see that law will go out of Zion throughout the whole earth. Okay? Read.
"And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away."
So as we stated earlier, all the other blessings and the curses Most High has prophesied have come to pass. Why can't we believe this right here? This is the same thing that we learned in Daniel. This is the kingdom that Christ is prophesied to rule. See? Read.
And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I will make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done.
It is done. Christ went to do what? Prepare a kingdom. He said, it is done. Read.
I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh.
That's the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. Read. Freely. Not for, no. The truth don't cost. Put it like that. Okay?
He that overcometh shall inherit all things.
He that overcomes Satan and his system shall inherit all things. These words are faithful and true. This is what we must believe in to receive our kingdom. He that overcometh. Read.
And I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars.
Let's get what sorcery is. Right? See, the unbelieving. Everybody won't believe, like it says in Isaiah 53. Everybody will not believe this report, this testimony. But the fearful. So those who know when this time, right now, even today, who are scared to change their lives and give themselves over to Christ, will be destroyed. The fearful, when it comes down for real, when we can no longer play church, when it's right in our face. The fearful, the cowards, as the Most High calls them.
Sorcerers.
Yep.
Sorcerers in the Greek in the Strong's Concordance, that's G5332, pharmakias, and it says a drug, that is a spell-giving potion, also a druggist or pharmacist or poisoner.
So as we read, we did listen a couple of weeks ago, talking about these sorcery. We said that the whole world is deceived through sorcery. The whole world is on drugs. And these drugs are not medication. They're spell-giving potions. The side effects are demons. Real talk. The druggists. That's what they are, right next door. A druggist. Every corner is a druggist. Right? Go ahead.
And I meant to say this during that lesson, but it's funny, like cold medicine, for instance, is only supposedly alleviating or covering up the symptoms. It's not really getting rid of what, the actual sickness. It's only a cover up.
Let me ask you a question. I learned this in college, like about 20 years ago, right? Who am I? What cures a virus? Yes. A virus? A virus cures a virus.
I thought you had to give you bacteria or.
Girl, you've been deceived too.
Antivenom from the
So it's-
Well, I've been
Huh?
told that nothing cures a virus.
The brother was right. The only thing that can, I learned this at University of Michigan.
What did you say?
He said that your immune system, the only thing that can cure a so-called virus is the body itself.
Yes, what was the question?
What is the only thing that can cure a virus. So why would they give you a virus to cure a virus? My brother, now you understand. They're trying to kill, it's called depopulation.
They're like the family chicken everybody going crazy about though.
I swear I got some crack in or something. I see on the news this other day, they're supposed to bring it back in a couple of days.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they hired police and everything. This famous Popeyes drug-induced chicken. Our people eat chicken all our life. We never been that excited for no chickens. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody line around the corner for some chicken. There's something in that thing. Who? No, they have fought people for chicken.
They're like back in the day they used to say they put real cocaine in Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that's fact.
And it asks,
I still believe that though,
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah, it's true. Let's keep going. You got it?
no, real quick, I was about to say, and along with that definition, it also reiterates magician and sorcerer. So a druggist, magician, you got spell giving potion is tying it back into that, being a practice of magic to deceive.
And that's the same thing that title goes with these pastors, these elders. They're magicians. When they doing their little chants and stuff, they're casting spells, they're conjuring in demons. That's why the whole church is like in a trance. Seriously, I mean, you gotta be. I mean, think about it. You do the same thing every week. The music, all that, it's all part of the spell. Like you do this matter, you going, never consider that, wait a minute, sister such and such, he laid hands on her about 2 months straight. Ain't nothing changed. Everybody just stop out in the line, going in line, just to be touched by this pastor. It's magic. It's creating an illusion of something that's not real. That make people believe in it. Anyway, let's go. And a whoremonger is a prostitute, right? A fornicator is a whoremonger, or a fornicator is a prostitute. So if we are here defiling our bodies with men and with women, Most High sees us as a prostitute, right? Someone who sold their soul for lust, right? So it says that they will get their portion. Read.
And idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone.
An idolater is one who worships images, people, right? Put images and people and things over the Most High. Themselves. Read.
Which is the second death.
This is the second death. Don't want to see that. Next precept.
Up down to 20. Pretty whole.
Okay, let's go.
And there came unto me one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God.
Descending out of heaven from God. Read.
Having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates.
Not one gate, 12 gates. Read.
And at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Names of who? 12 tribes Israel. Are these spiritual Israelites? Or are these people? People. Okay. So this is the address, as we say the address. You can't get into the gate if you're not of this tribe. By blood. Okay, read.
On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof. And the city lieth 4 square, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. And he measured the wall thereof, 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man that is, of the angel. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass.
The kingdom where we will reside, those who make it, it says to be what? Pure gold. What resembled this? What was a foreshadowing of our kingdom back in the ancient times? King Solomon's kingdom, his temple palace, pure gold. Okay, read.
And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third a chalcedony, the fourth an emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprase, the 11th a jacinth, the 12th an amethyst. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of one pearl. And the street of the city was pure gold, as it were tempered transparent glass.
Such a marvelous, gorgeous kingdom as this. Why is it such a secret in the earth today? The streets. Look at the streets right now. Imagine the streets pure gold. Translucent as glass. All these emeralds. Pure. This ain't from earth, it's from heaven. Pure in its form. Why is this hidden from the children of Israel? I mean, you would think, even they made a movie, Black Panther, resembling our kingdom. Remember they had their own city? Where do you think they got the idea from? Where they had all the high technology and all that stuff? They got the idea from. Right? But anyway, the streets wasn't solid gold though. Okay? Anyway, let's just get.
Oh man, I add real quick, and it's funny too, because in the movie, that was given to them by the quote unquote gods, but it was better than all the rest of the world had. You see, and they've hidden from us what our God, the true God, the Creator, has in store for us.
Exactly.
So,
Great point.
verse 22, and I saw no temple therein, for the Most High Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon, to shine in it. For the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it. And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it.
So there will be Gentiles serving us in the kingdom. I mean, kings. Some of these people who are prideful will bow down to Christ. See? And the nations, Gentiles, will walk in the light. What's the light? The truth. Walk in the spirit of the Most High. Become one with Christ. Read.
And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there.
So this, as they brought us in former times, their sacrifice, they would bring the things that belongs to us back to the gates and hand it to one of those chiefs that's over it. Read.
And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it. And there shall in no wise...
Wait. Let's get the glory and honor of the Gentiles, the salvation of them. Let's get it. It's Romans chapter 9, I think. Romans chapter 11, in a trap, in a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. So since we love, this prosperity gospel, all that kind of stuff, let that table be a snare, a stumbling block for them. We will strive after prosperity opposed to our kingdom. Verse 10, let their eyes be darkened, that they may see not, and bow their necks always. We will not see we will not see the truth, even if it's in our face. It will be a servant, okay? Because of the God we chose to serve. I say then, have they stumbled among Israelites that they shall fall? God forbid. Right? We stumble. Remember commercial? I fallen and can't get up. That's what Paul's talking about. Have they fallen and they can't get up? No. We have fallen, but we can get up. Okay? But rather through their fall, salvation is come into the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. What's this salvation he's talking about? Let's go farther. Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world, if the fall of the Israelites became the richest of the world, do y'all see why we started out, we talked in the beginning, why these Gentiles would not tell us the truth? To keep us in darkness means the riches of the world, the control of the earth's resources. So why would they tell you the truth? Like, seriously, how can you teach a slave that they're really kings and queens and the dominion really belongs to them? If the fall of the Israelites became the richest of the world, right? And the diminishing of them, the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? So the Most High gave them our riches, our resources. For those Israelites that come back to the Most High, how much will He give His own children? Right? So, where we at? Revelations what? 22. Verse 24. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it. And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. They're bringing our stuff back to us. Okay? And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there should be no night there. It's about, Shalom. And they should bring the glory of the nations into it. And there, 27, and there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination, or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. No unrighteousness in our kingdom, people. Okay? It's over with. Next precept.
Next precept, Revelations chapter 22, verse 14 through 16.
We see how this is an Israelite kingdom, right? Not a Gentile kingdom. Okay?
And it reads, Blessed are they that do His commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life.
Wait. Hold on now. For my law done away with widows. It says what? This is Revelation. With the N, not S. Revelation chapter, the last book of the Bible. It says, blessed are who?
Are they that do His commandments.
That do His commandments. Read.
That they may have right to the tree of life.
Immortality. Read.
And may enter in through the gates into the city.
Now you see how important it is keeping these commandments. Without keeping the commandments, you're not entering into these gates. Read.
For without,
outside, those who did not keep the commandments, outside is what?
are dogs.
Fornicators. So the dog is, to the Most High, a fornicator, a prostitute. Read.
Sorcerers.
The sorcerers.
And whoremongers.
And whoremongers.
And murderers. And idolaters. And whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
That sounds like judgment to me. Read.
I, Yasha, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches.
Into the churches. These are Israelite churches who have a few Gentiles in the midst. But who have authority of these churches? Who's teaching in these churches? Israelites. He's speaking to Israelites. Okay? Go back to Romans chapter 9. Verse 4. Who are Israelites? To whom pertaineth the adoption? Christ's blood adopted those back into the Father who was in his wrath, doomed for destruction. Those who do the commandments are reconciled to the Father through Christ. And the glory, the kingdom, belongs to Israelites. The covenants only went out to Israelites, no other people. And the giving of the law only to the Israelites. And the service of God. So how can these churches be, taught, or the service of God go to the Gentiles? As he only gave the laws to the Gentiles, he only gave authority to teach as he only gave the laws to the Israelites, he only gave the authority to teach to the Israelites. So Christ is talking to the Israelites. Say to the churches, these are things you teach, brethren. Read. Where we at?
16. I, Yasha, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star.
This does not mean, because they also calls Lucifer a morning star. They say Christ is Lucifer because he's the morning star. Let's get into Job.
Son of the morning.
Yeah, when the sons of God, when the morning star is saying praise to the Most High, Job. Let me see. When all the sons of God, let me see. Bright moon. Let me see.
Chapter 2, verse 1.
Job.
Yep, Job chapter 2, verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Most High, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Most High. That's not it.
Job 38. Verse 7. I'm reading. So the Most High is speaking to Job. I'm gonna start from 1. Then Ahijah answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, "Who is this that darkens counsel by words without understanding? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. Where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare, if thou hast understanding. Who has laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Or who has stretched the lines upon it? Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? Or who laid the cornerstone thereof? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. It's not this one morning star. This is the Most High's choir. Lucifer was a singer too. Our brother Yasha, like his father David, could sing. He sung in heaven to the Most High during his creation with all the sons of God, the morning stars. Okay? Not this one. So Christ is not Lucifer. Okay? Back to the script. Where we at?
Revelation chapter 2. Revelation chapter 2, verse 26 through 29. And it reads, "And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end."
You see that? We have to overcome this beast system. We have to overcome Satan. We have to do his work until the end. Read.
"And keepeth my works unto the end. To him will I give power over the nations."
To him I will give power over the Gentiles. Authority over the Gentiles to rule. Read.
"And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father."
Again, any nation and kingdom with every opportunity that does not want to serve, will slay. Read.
And I will give him the morning star.
I will give him the morning star. What is Christ talking about? I will give him the morning star. We get it. Let's keep going.
He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches.
Let's get it. Next precept.
Next precept, 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19.
Y'all got the eyes going? This morning star has more than one meaning. Okay? I will give him the morning star. Let's get it.
2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye
Start at
take
18 to get what Peter is talking about for real though.
heed. Verse 18.
So Peter is not talking about what he heard. Read.
And this voice, which came from heaven, we heard when we were with him in the holy mount.
Remember a couple of times Most High spoke to Christ from heaven? I quoted earlier, this is my beloved son whom I'm well pleased, listen to him. They were there with him as his witnesses. So this is not what Peter read or heard. Read.
We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed.
Peter said, remember, we was with him. So we have more of a sure testimony. We was with him. Read. Pay heed to what Christ told us to do. He tells us to do. Read.
As unto a light that shineth in a dark place.
As unto a light that shineth into a dark place. The gospel, the true doctrine of Christ is a light in a dark place. The whole earth is dark. The only light is this gospel. The true doctrine of Christ. The only way to salvation. The only way to enter into the gates of our kingdom. Read.
Until the day dawn, and the day star arise in your hearts.
Until the morning star, the day star arise in your heart. The truth. The spirit of the law. The truth. So the day draw near. The day of the Lord draw near. The truth arise in your hearts. When it's in your heart, you do the law. You will not turn back. Next precept.
Psalms chapter 109, verse 105. Wait,
That messed up.
Yep.
119, let me see.
yep, 119. Salakia, that's Psalms chapter 119, verse 105. Once again, that's Psalms chapter 119, verse 105. And it reads, Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and
Your word is a lamp unto my feet,
a light unto my path.
into a light into my path. So it says in a dark place, right? Ask you a question. No offense, but if y'all have any questions, ask me. Because you will find yourself that you're doing, y'all just communicating, answering, talking to each other, and it's hard to do two things at one time. So whether you have questions, ask me. Okay? Cool? Okay. So what good is a light in the daytime? You get a lamp in the daytime, is it doing you any good? So it's showing you that this lamp, this light, is necessary in this dark world. Okay? His word is a lamp to our feet. It's our path. It's a way to show us in the way in which we should go. Next precept.
Next precept, John chapter 5, verse 35.
Seriously though, don't be afraid to ask any questions. That's what we're here for. Ask the question. Okay? John chapter 5, verse 35.
And it reads, He was a burning and a shining light, and ye were willing for a season to rejoice in his light.
John the Baptist. In John's time, it was like it is our time. Dark, spiritually. The Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes did not teach the truth. Our people was in darkness. And John was the only light, preparing the way for Christ. He was a bright, shining light. We must also be bright, shining lights in this dark world. Read? But it goes farther into its understanding. Let's go. Where we at?
Next precept.
Let's precept.
Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23.
Christ promised us to do what? Until the end. Be with us. Teach us until the end, right? Read.
Verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
The way of life. He will feed us the law. Now and in the future. Next precept.
Isaiah chapter 2, verses 1 through 5. And it reads, The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established.
That the kingdom of the Most High's family, house is a family, children of Israel should be what?
Shall be established.
Established. Read.
In the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
Our kingdom will be exalted above all kingdoms. We will destroy all kingdoms. And the nations who are willing to serve will flow into it. Read.
And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Most High, and to the house of the God of Jacob.
God of who?
Of Jacob.
Okay.
And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Most High from Jerusalem.
So Christ would give us what? The morning star. He would give us the truth. Remember, the Samaritan woman said, I know when the Messiah comes, he will teach us all things. Christ will feed us. Read.
And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords and plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Most High.
Let us walk in the light of the Most High. See? Law should go forth out of Zion, New Jerusalem. Okay? All through the earth. Every man will know the Most High. Read.
Next precept, Micah chapter 4, verse 1 through 5.
Yeah, so this has not happened yet because we're still having wars. Okay? Where we at, Micah?
Chapter 4, verse 1 through 5.
Micah's going to say the same thing as Isaiah.
Micah chapter 4, starting at verse 1.
As we stated before, according to the law, Every matter is established under two or more witnesses according to our law. Let's get it.
And it reads, but in the last days it shall come to pass
In the last days it should come to pass. Let's go.
that the mountain of the house of the Most High shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Most High, and to the house of the God of Jacob.
So as I stated earlier about the service of God, this is why I said what I said. The service of God is go to the house of Jacob. It's not going to any other people. These Gentiles have recognized who the God of heaven children are. And said, let us come up to their mount, and they will teach us. See, they've been teaching us lies, blasphemies. See what I'm saying? But at this particular time, they were recognized, as it stated in another place, that surely our fathers have inherited lies. So they recognize that they've been lied to as well, and follow the order of the Most Highs. Right? You must be instructed by Israel. He's the God of Jacob. Read.
And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Most High from Jerusalem.
So we will rule in our own land, from our own land, the whole world. The Most High will set up his governing bodies throughout the whole earth. The law should go out. All these nations will willfully keep the Most High's laws and love our God and his children and serve us. Read.
And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords in plowshares, and their spears in the pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree.
Every Jew will sit up under his own fig tree and vine. No more under oppression, working for no one. Read.
And none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Most High, the Lord of hosts, hath spoken it.
If this is something to look forward to, none should make us afraid. Read.
For all people will walk every one in the name of his God, and we will walk in the name of Ahijah our God forever and ever.
Now when it says every man will walk in the name of his God, it's talking about the guy he's talking about is those that he put over the Gentiles, not angels. These are the chiefs of the tribes who would have the Gentiles as a possession. We would instruct them. Same way the Most High calls those who lead people right now gods. As the law says, do not be bound to gods. Those who the Most High has given this law to instruct his people to. They're not physical gods, but they're over the people. Okay? Yes.
Or how he said, the Most High said Moses will be a God unto Pharaoh, or a God over Pharaoh. So pretty much that God is the person who you're getting your counsel from, and you're serving that person inferior to the Most High.
John.
So
Exactly.
next precept, Luke chapter 22, verse 28 through 30. Once again, that's Luke chapter 22, verses 28 through 30.
So the Messiah was talking to his original apostles at the time, but this also goes for us. We must follow Christ, as it says, even to the end. His temptations are our temptations. Right? Read.
And it reads, Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom.
He does what? Appoint to us a kingdom, and that's what we're trying to bring out, my people. If Christ said he appoint those who stay with him, that are obedient to him, believe in him, a kingdom, why doesn't our people know about this kingdom? This is the main topic of the Bible. Why don't we know about our kingdom, people? And everyone hope to go to heaven. 3.
That ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom.
Eat and drink at his table in his kingdom. This is on earth. They're eating and drinking at Christ's table with the king. Read.
And sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
And sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, toward the 144,000. The elect governing body of our kingdom. 12,000 from each tribe. Read.
Next precept, Revelation chapter 3, verse 9 through 14.
It talks about those kings that would bring the riches and the resources back, right? Check this out. So we talked about earlier, remember it says, Christ says that he promised that where he will be, so will his people be. Right? Is Christ talking about being in heaven with these people or on earth? You sure? Have you read anything about people going to heaven? So that where I am, you will be with me also. Breaking bread, drinking wine with them. You did. Let's go.
And it reads, verse 9, Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
Remember on their head was blasphemy? These Jewish people, the children of Satan. I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, who say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
See? That's why they would say, come, let us go to the mount, to the God of Jacob. They humbled themselves, right? The other ones got the shorting. All those who, not every king in these nations will oppose Christ. But the majority of them will. Read.
Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth.
That's why we must have faith in the Most High Christ. He will deliver us from the hour of temptation. When it goes bad, we believe they will provide for us. Read. And protect us. Read.
Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
Let no man, no spirit take your crown. Hold what you have. Hold this truth. Stand firm on his foundation. Let no man take your crown. Read.
Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. And I will write upon him my new name.
So where does the kingdom come from? Heaven. It will come down to earth. So again, Christ and all those who met him in the clouds will be on earth with him, ruling forever. Next precept.
A couple more.
I'm sorry.
He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. I think that's probably it. That's probably what
14.
14. And unto the angel of the church of Laodiceans, write, these things saith
The beginning of the creation of God says Christ. So Christ all through this right here told us that he's not God. We did a lesson a couple weeks ago about this. Christ himself said he's the beginning of the creation of God, right? But you see that over his churches are angels. So the lessons come angelically. It has not stopped. There's nothing new up under the sun. Okay? To fulfill his work, yes, sister.
That amen is Christ.
No, that's just like that's like your signature. Like the Amen says the Amen. Christ is not the like the Amen says the Amen, meaning that it's a for sure word. It's true. It's faithful.
said the truth, said the
Yeah.
oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
something. These things said the Aman, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of God.
What's the next precept?
Acts chapter 1, verse 6 through 7. Come on, if I get that in the concordance real quick.
Yeah, you got it.
So that Aman in the concordance in the Greek, it says properly firm, that is trustworthy, surely, Aman verily, often as interjection, so be it. So, and then it says of Hebrew origin, which is Aman, so be it, truth, faithfulness, sure. So of a surety.
So we're not saying Christ when we say Aman. You know what I'm saying?
The context. seems
Yeah.
different.
It's saying like the words are short. That's what he's saying. It says he is the truth. So it says me, but like yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're not saying like Aman, we say Christ. That's what I thought you were saying. Okay. Like what he's saying is what it is. Okay. So when we say Aman, we're saying so be it. As I said, that's my vow. I will do what I promised. See what I'm saying?
The book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 6 and 7. And it reads, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
So as we said in the last lesson, the apostle thoroughly anticipated the restoration of the kingdom to Israel. And we asked the question, we're like, who changed it to going to heaven? Like, ask ourselves, why aren't we in the same mind as our foreparents? All of them understood about the resurrection and that this Messiah will come and restore the kingdom to Israel. So why don't God's people any longer anticipate their kingdom? Could it be the war tactic? This the war that Satan made against us to keep us in darkness, to strip us of our heritage, our identity, our covenants, our promises of our God, and fill us with blasphemies, with lies. So we go our whole life thinking that we can just live our life like we want to. Like, God don't really, He knows that, He made you this way, and you're subject to sin, and at the end, you'll go to heaven, be with Him. But did you see how the Bible constantly, through the beginning and the end, talks about our kingdom? So the apostle is asking at this, because it's written that this Messiah will come to earth and restore the kingdom. So they're saying, is it now? You're here. You didn't die. You're here. So when is it? Read.
Verse 7. And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power.
Okay. It's not for you to know. There's other things in our scrolls that has to be fulfilled. Other prophecies of this book, no other book, that has to come to pass. Then the end will come in our kingdom. Next precept.
Isaiah chapter 61, verse 1 through 11.
We read this last week. No, we read the next one last week. So these things we read right now in the prophets, Isaiah, this is what the prophets was commanded to write down for us to give us hope. Right? So the apostles knew these promises. Again, they asked them, is this the time that we read about? That you taught us about? Read.
Isaiah chapter 61, verse 1. The Spirit of Ahiah is upon me, because the Most High hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
Good tidings. What's good tidings? The good news of the kingdom. To the meek. Right? Now, is Isaiah talking to Gentiles at this time? No. to the meek, those that are obedient to the Most High. Because most of Israel ain't listened to Isaiah at all. They killed him, slaughtered him. But he was commanded, and he loved the Most High and feared the Most High, and he preached until they destroyed him. Until the Most High said he had done enough. Saw the brethren have. Read.
He had sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the open
To who?
to proclaim
Liberty
to the
to the
captives.
slaves. See? Now you see why it's glad tidings, good news of our kingdom? Liberty, freedom from slavery, from oppression, from hard bondage. That's what the Messiah is coming back to do for us. Read.
And the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Most High, and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Most High, that he might be glorified. And that they build the old wastes, that they raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations. And the strangers shall stand and feed your flocks.
The Gentiles that come clean to us and said, like what we spoke about earlier, let's go to the mount and, serve the God of Jacob. They will do what? Stand and feed our flocks. What else?
And the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen.
Alien is another word for stranger, Gentile, another nation, foreigner. Read.
Shall be your plowmen and vine dressers.
Plowmen and vine dressers. So if we have plowmen, vine dressers, handmaids, servants, what are our children doing? Living their best life. but seriously, but in righteousness though. This is truly living your best life. Okay? In righteousness. No more working for us people. Okay? Let's go.
But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our God.
See, the priests of the Lord, that's why we talking about earlier, it said they would serve their God. The priests are those who have authority, so they'll be the ones that be over the Gentiles and instructing them. They should call you the ministers of our God. Read.
Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. For your shame ye shall have double, and for your confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them. For I, the Most High, love judgment. I hate robbery for burnt offering. And I will direct their work in truth. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them.
He would direct our way in truth. Remember, Christ is going to lead us in truth. Right? Read.
And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles.
Their who?
Their seed.
Our seed should be known, respected, feared among the Gentiles. Read.
And their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which the Most High hath blessed.
Do you get that? Right now, we are what to these people? Who? A reproach. Something to be despised. The whole earth will respect the children of the Most High. Get it? Now do you see why they have taken or deprived us of our kingdom and gave us a false hope? Can you get that now? Like, as we are disrespected, hated, the opposite is due. You understand what the Most High is saying? Everything we say is for ashes, for beauty for ashes. Everything we reverse. Okay? Let's get it.
I will greatly rejoice in the Most High. My soul shall be joyful in my God, for he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation. He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels. For as the earth bringeth forth her bud, and as the garden causeth the things that are sown in it to spring forth. So Ahiah will cause righteousness and praise to spring forth before all the nations.
Promises. Precept.
Isaiah 14.
Two more precepts.
And it reads, For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land.
Let me ask you a question. This for us, this is simple. But can y'all understand how important it is for our people to know who they are? Like right now, if you don't know who you were, how would you this right here, what we're reading right now? When it says that the Most High will have mercy on Jacob and will choose Israel, how would you read this if you didn't know who you were?
I wouldn't think he was talking about us.
You wouldn't know.
I've been stuck.
You be stuck. Like this.
Yeah, like I don't know which one, like they say Esau was white, Jacob was brown. Like how people predict that, like how
Well, brother, we just went over some scriptures back when in Second Ezra. It shows that Esau will be ruling again, and Jacob is at the fountain.
yeah. Oh,
So yeah, it goes to show you that
it's going on right now.
right, but it's showing us through the prophecy that the ones that's ruling,
Like strong with third and stuff like that. Like
that has nothing to do with that. That has to do with righteous people and wicked people,
okay.
not just a nation of people. But when it's talking about those who be the head, those who be the tail, those that will lend to being nations, and so it's the prophecies and the curses goes to identify who's who. See what I'm saying? So we're not the head anymore. So those who was under us, that nation, Esau was under us. Now he's ruling.
Like when you read
Brother. So it says that these people have the riches of the world. So what really doesn't matter. What do it really got to do with the skin color? Because if Esau was black, we would say, well, that's Esau. But because Most High put a divine mark on Esau, we identify the difference between these two most prophetic and important characters in the Bible. We will be able to see in the end who's who. Guys, what men say Esau is, what color he says, right? He's the only person on earth, like we said last week, that has no melanin in his skin. So he has a mark on him. So therefore, we look and see, well, who's Esau? Who's at the end? That man. The same man that prophesied would be an enemy. That was an enemy all through the Bible. You see? So it don't matter what group say this about Esau, that group, the prophecies don't lie. Right? When it talks about these people that I said, it's other records, even our records that show you that Satan is the god of the Edomites. Right? So who's over Rome? Who's Rome? Who was the eagle? Who has Satan gave his power and authority in his seat to? You or the white man? Who's ruling the world right now?
white man.
What color is the Pope?
Black.
The Pope is black?
There you go, bro. I think it's both ways, but I think we outnumber the white though.
But that had nothing to do with anything.
I know.
Because, I mean, it goes in a figurative sense. Back in child slavery, they had two dudes on horses and a whole bunch of Negroes with chains on. So it don't matter how many people it was, because this is a curse. The stronger nation would be serving the weaker nation.
So that go way back what you said being disobedient.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Most High put us in this. This the only way we can be under these people is through a curse. Because you're right, we do outnumber them. We are stronger than them. So outside of divine curse, there's no reason why we'll be under these people. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it. Let's finish up this lesson.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people,
Where you at?
in the middle, that was the middle of 14.
Okay.
And the people shall take them and bring them their place, And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass that in the day that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrows, and from thy fear, and from thy hard bondage, wherein thou wast made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Most High hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindered. The whole earth is at rest, and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
So the Most High is showing that he put us in captivity, okay? And gave us a continual stroke because we've been in captivity for a long time. Last precept, Matthew 24, verse 3.
Matthew chapter 24.
So we've talked about our kingdom. Christ gave us great instructions on what to look for at the approaching of our kingdom in the end times. Let's go.
Verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?
Same thing the prophet Ezra said. Okay? Read.
And Yahshua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
Take heed that no man deceive you. So there will be a great deception in the last days going on. As it said, there will be many false prophets, many false Christs. Read.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
That's what Christ was told Peter and them, that, hey, it's not time yet. These things must come to pass. Read.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall
Hold on,
kill
wait,
you.
Chris, take your hood off there.
And his hat.
And your hat.
Oh, that.
Oh.
It's like his head, man.
You don't do that in this building, man. When we are under doing what we do right now, a boy or a man is not to have their hair covered. At all. I told you that a couple times before. I told you when you first came here, don't do that. Don't do that ever again. That's disrespectful to the Most High. Read.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted.
And I'm gonna say this for anybody in here. If y'all see that anything like that, y'all say something. I got a computer in front of me. I can't see that. All y'all who looked over there and saw that, do not let that happen. The sister scarf come off her head, please. Encourage her to put it back on. Thank you, sister. Let's go.
And shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another.
It says, and then many should be offended. Get that word offended.
That's G4624 in the concordance. It says to scandalize, to entrap.
Many should be entrapped, right? Enticed to sin. You see over there?
Young, enticed to sin.
Many should be enticed to sin, stumbled, entrapped. Remember, the war is against the saints. So it don't mean many would just be offended because you say something to them. That's part of it too. But the deeper meaning is that in the end times, many would be entrapped through these, like you said, the wiles of the devil, snares, the traps of the devil, through these tactics of war. Like we said, religion and the educational system, everything. Read.
And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, or sin, the love of many shall wax cold.
So y'all see how that ties in? Many will be ensnared, enticed to sin because of many false prophets. So because people are being deceived by these false prophets, not just in religion, but your entertainers, anyone, your football coaches, basketball coaches, anyone that's against the Most High, who's not teaching you about the Most High laws and commandments, and showing you the example of them, they're false prophets. So it says, because of this operation that's going on in the world, sin will abound. There will be no one enticing you to do righteousness. Everyone will be enticing you to do sin. You can't just put it all on religion, right? Because men and women, parents will guide their children on another path outside of the church that is against Christ. See? Go to college. Be an entertainer. All those things. I know you got to work and eat. That's fine and dandy. But not one time people are saying, first of all, they're not showing their children, their family members, an example of Christ. Let alone teaching them. Christ says, blessed is he, great is he in the kingdom of heaven that do the law and teach men so. See, in the last days, we will do the opposite. So we in here must be a light in a dark place. Ready?
Verse 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
No, Pastor said I was saved. See? The Bible says what?
He that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
So that means when the mark of the beast comes, when the RFID chip comes, is that the end? Huh? We must endure through it. That one will be saved. Read.
And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations.
So there's a doctrine, a gospel that must be what? Preached into the four corners of the earth. It's being spoken and taught right now, not just here, but around this world. But this is not the gospel of the kingdom that you get taught from these churches. It's not even the gospel at all. See? But this operation must be spread. Every man and woman must be given an opportunity to hear the truth. You either convert, or as Christ said, stay righteous still. Stay filthy still. Read.
And then shall the end come.
And then shall the end come. This is why the gospel is in the earth today. It's prophecy. This is why the brother said earlier, last week that he haven't heard this, because it hasn't spread here yet. But it's here. See? A little bitty old city called Saginaw, Michigan. There's a lot of little Saginaw, Michigan in this earth. All through the world, the Most High, through his angels, through his people, will spread this gospel. And then the end shall come. Read.
Verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Get it all over? All right. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then, if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs.
Now, hey, they have already developed this technology called the blue beam, technology, where these devils are going in through the clouds, through the chemtrails. Every nation that serve their God, that have their so-called Messiah coming, they're gonna recreate this scene. Like you have the Christ coming, you have a Muhammad or Buddha, whoever. It's already this research project Bluebeam. They have false images coming from the sky right now. They got false images. They're preparing for this right now. So Christ saying it. They say, "Hey, lo, Christ is here. Christ is there. Don't go." Okay, it's coming. A greater deception. It said it'd be so out cold that even if possible, the elect will be deceived, but we won't. Read.
For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in the heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
Why are they mourning? See, man cannot duplicate or duplicate what's going to happen in reality. They're going to try all kinds of stuff to show you that Christ is coming and all that kind of stuff. But most I said, the sun ain't going to give his light, the moon ain't give his light, the stars ain't give his light. The only light you're going to see is Christ. And it said when he comes, the whole earth is going to mourn. But everybody, so-called, is anticipating when Christ comes going to be like a great thing for most of the world. But he said the whole earth is going to mourn. He's coming for destruction, for judgment. Read.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, and one end of heaven to the other.
Now, we talked about this flea doctrine. Okay? It's simple. He coming with a shout, last trump. Okay? He will send his angels to gather his people. He ain't sending angels to buy plane tickets. Right? He sends angels to the four corners of the earth to gather his people. Right? Read.
Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day of Noah entered into the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then,
So when it took them away, where did they go? So it says taken. It's not talking about you getting raptured. Taken is killed. Read.
then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken,
One should be killed.
and the other left.
Okay.
Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. And if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Do y'all get that? What is Christ telling us right here?
Stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
Stay ready. Say what?
You don't have to get ready.
Stay ready. You gotta get ready. Great way to put it. What else? Anyone else got a hand up? Christ is preparing us to be patient. Everything the Most High says must come to pass. And will come to pass. He's showing us. He's giving us signs. He's saying, as in the days of Noah, he said, even look at the fig tree. So right now, everything that we are seeing is to do what? Worry about what's going on, or is to build confidence? Build confidence. It says, as in the days of Noah, they were eating, drinking, and having a good time. They would be eating, building houses, having a good time right when it goes black. These people will not take heed to the Most High's warnings. Will you? All these things are right in our face, people. Sin has gotten to a head. If any one of us are here or out there want to continue in a life of sin, I fear for you. Everything that we have read, we're living proof that it's going on right now. We can see it. So, all in all, the Bible talks about the kingdom being restored to the children of Israel. And Christ coming with his brethren to rule forever in righteousness. He's coming to set judgment. The Most High said a certain amount of time that sin would exist on this earth and it would be eradicated forever. No more in heaven or earth will sin ever exist. The Most High and the angels cannot stand it. It's not his way. He would judge his people. He would judge all nations. Those that are worthy of him, he will reward. Okay? So, I pray that you understand that there's a real kingdom coming. It's like these other kingdoms that come in, Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome, which was prophesied in the Bible. So is the kingdom of Christ. So, I pray that we make it. I pray that all those who have an ear to hear the Spirit, what the Spirit said today, that you turn back from your evil ways. Learn his laws, statutes, and commandments. Learn who the guy in the Bible is. Learn who you are and your responsibilities and do it. For you will be judged according to your works. With that, I'm Elder Brother Ma'ad. This is Brother Rook from Wigan Highland Church. Salam.
Shalom.
Any questions? How we do, Azariah?
I'm still on YouTube.
Any questions?
It went good.